Databases and SQL. Let's take up this one and try to execute. Here is a question telling that write a program to create a student database with a table consisting of student name and age. Read n records from the user and insert them into database. Write queries to display all the records and to display the students whose age is 20. Okay, just look into the question properly. We need to create a database by the name what? A student database. This student table must have two attributes. One is the name, the second one is what? Age. Now, after creating a database, the next thing is we need to populate the database with the data. That is, insert the records to the database. Insertion of the record to the database has to be once again read from what? The user. It is nothing but read n records from the user. It is nothing but we need to input from the keyboard the data that has to be inserted to the database. Fine. After inserting that, it is nothing but we need to use the input function to read the data for both the columns. The first one is the name, the second one is the age. Write the queries to display all the records and display the students whose age is 20. So we need to write two queries. One is to display all the records. The second query is to display the students whose age is 20. That is nothing but equal to 20. Okay, so let's implement this program. Start with what? Import SQLite 3, the version 3. Next, we need to connect to the database. That can be done by using once again connect function. Then within the connect function, just specify the name of the database, my database.db. After establishing the connection, call the cursor to create the cursor object. Equals to, once again, calling the cursor is done along with the connection object. The connection object is con dot, call the cursor function and finish. Then the next thing is what? We need to create a table. The name of the table is what? A student, where this student must have how many tables? Oh, sorry, how many columns? Two columns. One is the name, the second one is the age. If I consider the name, the data type of the name can be considered as what? Text. If I take the age, the data type of the age can be taken as what? Integer, because age is only what? An integer value. So here we need to create a table. The creating a table can be done using an execute method along with using what? The cursor object. So use the cursor object with execute command. Now create a table. So create create is a command followed by give the word table, create table. The name of the table must be student. So specify the name of the table. I'll give it as student. So create table student. After that, within the parenthesis, I need to once again go on giving all the names of the columns along with the data type. The first one is the name. It must be of what data type? It must be of text. The second column must be of age. I'll consider the data type of this as what? Integer. Fine. So this completes with the creation of the table. So once after creating the table, the next thing we are supposed to do is what? We need to read the records from the user and insert them into what? The database. So we need to read n records. So it is nothing but I need to read the value of n. Suppose if I tell the value of n as 5, fine, I need to input how many records from by using a keyword 5 records to be inserted to the database. If I give n value as 10, 10 records has to be inserted into the database. Fine. So we need to input the records from the user. So what I'll do, I'll take n equals to, it must be an integer value, int, use an input function, input. Okay, within this input function, I'll tell enter the number of records. So give the value of n. After that, fine, I need to read, okay, the records, how many number of times? N times. So that can be done by using which loop now? The for loop. So use for I in, okay, once again range of what, n. Fine. So what I need to do, I need to input the name from the keyboard, age from the keyboard. So name equals to, just use input function and tell enter the name. Then with this I also need to input what, age. So age equals to, once again age must be of integer type. So again input, telling that enter the age. Fine. Now after this, after entering the name and the age, I need to once again store this name and age where, in the database. For storing or for inserting the record in the database, I have to do it by using which function or which command, insert command. So with the execute method, insert the records to the database using what, the cursor object. So cur, then execute. So I need to perform the insert operation. So insert is a command followed by the clause into, insert into, followed by I need to specify the name of the table. The name of this table is student. What I need to insert, the values. After giving the clause value, then I need to give what, the placeholder, that is represented by what, the question mark. Then followed by I need to specify what, instead of directly specifying the values here, I need to give name variable and age here. So just give name followed by age. Okay, now after this, okay, we'll do commit. So on dot commit, it is nothing but to perform the insert operation. So let's execute up to here and we'll see whether a database by the name student will be created and whether n records can be read and whether those records will be inserted into the table. Execute it. Okay, so it is asking how many number of records. I will take it as 5. Then first name. The first name I'll give it as okay. Then age is 20. Then the second name is okay. The age is 18. Okay, the age is next. Okay. Then finally, um, 20. And so how many records it has read? 5 records. So after that, it is not asking for the prompt. Now let's check whether these records have been inserted in the table, that is the backend. So just open DB browser SQLite. Okay. Then from there, just open the database. The name of the database is my database. Check for this. So here it is. Open it. Can you see here a new table with the student is created? So here this student table has got how many columns now? 2 columns. The name is of text type, age is of integer type. Now check whether the values or the records that is entered, 5 records have been inserted to which table now? Student table. Browse the data. Just a second. So here we have a student table. So both the columns. So browse the data. So here we can see it is showing the details of the faculty. Just go here, select here, select the student. Can you see all the 5 records are inserted to the database? Fine. So whatever the records we had given through this program, those records are inserted here. Let's come back to the program now. So after just reading n records, the next thing we are supposed to do is what? We need to once again write the queries to display all the records and to display the students whose age is 20. Fine. So this is what we are supposed to do. So what we'll do is, fine. So since again I need to run this program, already the table is created by the name that is student. I'll create one more table with the name student1. Fine. So once again I'll just try to input or read the records from the table. After that I'll try to read the records from the database and display here, and finally write a query to display or retrieve all the records whose age is 20. So what I'll do, I'll copy the same program. Fine. So here you can do it in a single program, just to step by step I'm just showing here. So everything remains the same. Instead of this, I'll change the name of the database as student underscore db. This is the name of the table. So once again do everything. So here insert into student, okay, underscore db. Fine. After this committing, now the next thing we are supposed to do is I need to once again retrieve all the records from where, from the database. So this can be done again by using the cursor object along with the execute command. So retrieving all the records from the database can be done by using which statement? The select statement. So select is a command used as it is select the records from all the columns. So how many columns are there? 2. Either you can give name comma age or all the columns. So just give star. So select star, fine, followed by the clause. What is the clause? From. After giving from is a keyword you need to use as it is. From which table now? Table name has been changed to student underscore db. So it is student underscore db. Right? So select star from student underscore db. After that, I want to print all the records on my terminal. So what I'll do, either you can use for loop. So I'll use for row in cur. Fine. So print row, or you can also directly use which function? Fetch all function. Okay. Then for the next query, I'll use fetch all function and try to retrieve the data. The next thing is what? We need to retrieve all the records. Fine. That satisfy what is the condition now? That satisfy the condition with age equals to 20. So use cursor dot execute. Okay, again whenever you want to retrieve the data or do the querying with the database, it is always done by using select statement. So select, okay, star from is the clause you need to use as it is student underscore db. Fine. Now specify the condition. What is the condition you need to specify now? Condition is age is 20. So where is the clause you need to use as it is? So where, okay, so take which column now? Okay, the age column of the student table. So where, fine, age equals, so what is the condition I need to specify? 20. Then after that, there may be more than one student records with age equals to 20. I need to retrieve all the records. Again, that can be done either by using the for loop or just by using one more method of the cursor function that is called as fetch all method. So just use cur dot fetch all. Okay. Then after that, just do what? Close the connection. So close. CON dot, and this is anything but close the connection. If you want to close the cursor, you can also just close the cursor by using the cursor object dot close. Okay, the close function is used for closing the cursor as well as closing the connection. Now let's execute this program and see. Okay, enter the number of records. I'll give 5. Okay, enter the name. I'll give it as 20. Enter. Okay, then enter once again. And once again, how many records over? 4 records. Okay. Then once again, enter. Can you see here? Okay, after entering it, okay, this select statement, it is retrieving all the data from the database. Fine. And whereas the last one, select from student where age equals to 20, it is retrieving only those records where age is 20. So there are three records, print. Now see the difference here. When I'm using for loop here for row in cursor print row, it is displaying the records in the form of tuple. When I'm using it all, once again it is displaying the records in the form of what? That is the list. So let's check with the database whether it is able to create the database and insert these records. So just go to this one, open database again, it's my database, open, check whether it has created okay, table, okay, database db with the same thing. Go browse data, select which table, student underscore db. Can you see all the records inserted? So it has retrieved all the records from the database by using select statement, and it also retrieved only those records whose age is equal to 20. Can you see here? This is how. So there are three records. The three records are retrieved and displayed here. So the difference here, why it is tuple and why it is list, is because here I'm using for loop. You can also use print cur dot fetch all. Again, all these 5 records will be displayed in the form of list. So this is what all about this program. Thank you.